So absolute sex means love organ of heavenly parents. Human beings who were created by God came from God's absolute sex. Absolute sex is very important here. Absolute sex is the eternal homeland of humankind and the origin and the royal palace of the true love, true life, and true lineage. Why absolute sex is important? The attribution of absolute sex, there are three main elements. Number one, true love, true life, and true lineage. With true love plus true life plus true lineage, all plus together, how we call it? Absolute sex. When my father and mother spiritually, physically unite together, centering on where? Then how to make love? Centering on sexual organ. That's why sexual organ is the palace of true love. God's original palace of true love is a sexual organ. Man and woman, how can unite, complete together, not just only spiritually, not just only physically, spiritually and physically, how can unite together, centering on love organ. That's why true love is what? True love is the royal palace of, God. And then, our life come from where? My life come from where? Come from my parents' sexual organ. That's why Father said, our sexual organ is the original palace of the true life. My life comes from my father and mother. Human being comes from God's love organ. My life, human being's life. And then, how to produce our blood lineage, descendant to descendant, our blood lineage, through sexual organ. Wow, this is really, really incredible. Therefore, our sexual organ is a royal palace of true blood lineage. This is three elements. What is the attribution of the absolute sex? True love, true life, true lineage. Do you understand? You look at that. Human beings supposed to grow and then become perfection. It begins from formation stage and growth stage and finally completion stage. Adam and Eve grow and grow and grow until top of the growth stage. This is the individual course. As the boy, as the girls, as the brother, as the sister, they separately grow up until top of the growth stage. And then Adam and Eve at the time supposed to receive the blessing by heavenly parents. And then Adam and Eve receive the blessing and then no more individual course. As a husband and wife, okay, as the pair system need to grow until completion stage. Completion stage. This is a human being's life course. That's why Adam need to grow up as the tree of life. Eve need to grow up as the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So when Adam become perfect being, become tree of life. And then Eve grow up until top of the growth stage before the receiving blessing, and then she will become tree of knowledge of good only, not evil. Very important here, my brothers and sisters, here. However, Adam fell with Satan, Archangel Lucifer. Then Adam become tree of life or tree of death? Huh? Tree of life or tree of death?
Tree of death.
Adam became tree of death. It's a life and death. If you eat the fruit, you will become tree of death. But if you do not eat the fruit and keep absolute purity, and finally you will become tree of life. About Eve, as a girls, if we eat the fruit, then you will become tree of the knowledge of what? Evil, not good. That's why until top of the growth stage, until 16, 17 years old, no matter what, you need to keep absolute God's pure blood lineage. And then, by your father and mother or church leader arrange, and you receive the blessing at the age 16 or 17 years old, and then no more individual course as a husband and wife. You need to go to family course, husband and wife, and then produce your children. Okay? Produce your children as a pair. And then this is the family course. So that's why for individual course you have to be a tree of life or tree of the knowledge of good. And then finally after marriage, after receiving blessing, you have to become tree of love. Love means pair. Pair. Not individual. You have to be a tree of love. Now my last son Sun Shin now no more alone now. Already receiving blessing means now already start to have tree of love. Tree of love. Yoshika, yesterday about the match. Now her life now start already become going to be tree of love. No more individual cause anymore. And then after produce your children, then after you marry and each other love each other, become oneness, okay, one mindset, and then finally produce what? Produce what? Your children. Your children means what? Blood lineage. Produce a tree of the lineage. This is our final course. 4 great realms of heart and 3 great kingship. That's why our life course should be tree of life and then tree of love, finally tree of lineage. So we need to go individual course before marriage. After marriage, we need to be family course. After family course, then what's that? We multiply blessing to tribal level, tribal Messiah. This is our course. What is absolute sex? Since God's attribute is absolute, unique, and unchanging and eternal, you know God's attribute is like that. Absolute sex should be the absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal reproductive organ. So God's nature is absolute, unique, unchanging, eternal. That's why even absolute sex should be absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal. Therefore, love organs of a human being should be the absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal reproductive organ we need to inherit from God. Therefore, our sexual organ should be eternal sexual organ, not temporary stimulation. Our sexual organ need to be unchanging sexual organ. Once I married with somebody, once I married with somebody by true parents, no matter what, I cannot abandon my spouse. Once I match and receive a blessing, I need to keep absolute this blessing, absolutely, unchangingly, uniquely. This is absolute sex. That's why once anyone receive education from father and mother, our divine principle, they know that this relationship between husband and wife as a blessed couple, as a blessed second generation, cannot separate forever because this is eternal. This is unchanging. This is forever. This is unique. Nobody, only one couple. That's why my husband have to be eternal husband. My wife have to be eternal wife. This is absolute sex. God's purpose of creation is to return joy and Him through absolute sex. That's why where God's joy, how He makes joy and happiness. When human beings keep God's blood lineage, centering on true love, centering on true life, centering on true blood lineage, God is very, very happy about it. The way that humankind makes God experience the greatest joy is through realizing absolute sex. Then, what's God's creation? God's creation means realizing of absolute sex. Then what's the absolute sex? Centering on God, absolute, the true love, true life, true blood lineage. And then what's the fall? Fall means what? Violation. Okay? Violation of absolute. Misuse God's sexual organ. And what is the restoration? Restoration means restoration of absolute sex. Wow. And we can explain centering on absolute sex, everything. What is the principle of creation? Realizing absolute sex. What is the fall? Misuse absolute sex. What is the restoration? We're going back to God's blood lineage. That is the restoration. That's why I am telling you, my dear brother. Not just keeping purity. Your father and mother say, keeping purity, keeping purity. Children do not know why we have to keep the purity. You do not explain in this kind of principle way. Children do not understand and make us, associate with boyfriends and girlfriends and become homosexual like that because they do not know divine principle. That's why today I tell you very clearly because you are God's children. You are God's pure blood lineage. You are my children, our descendant, our future, our hope. That's why you need to understand the meaning of absolute sex. Then, who is the Messiah? The Messiah is a model of absolute sex. Messiah was born, what's that? As a sinless child. Do you know? 2,000 years ago, Jesus came as a begotten son. Begotten son means only son, pure blood lineage. When we read the Bible content, Jesus was the blood lineage background. There are 4 chapter 2 women, 4 women is really chapter 2 women, very much like what's that? Adultery kind of the woman. Why Jesus have this kind of background? In order to change blood lineage. This one, to explain this one, it takes time. But you need to understand why Jesus' background is like blood lineage, and then father-in-law, and then daughter-in-law, and then about sexual relationship. Why take on the background of Jesus' blood lineage? This is the changing blood lineage. To get the pure blood lineage, you need to understand later on. That's why do not criticize simply about Jesus' background. Do not criticize simply our two parents' background. Do not. No father will have the more 2 wives or 3 wives or what. You don't have a qualification to talk about this one. True father go through all kinds of suffering like Jesus' background. In order to purify human beings' blood lineage. That's why finally true parents came as a sinless child, begotten son. True mother as a begotten daughters. If they are not begotten son and begotten daughter, even though we receive a blessing, we cannot change the blood lineage. But through our experience after receiving blessing, everybody have an experience of the rebirth. This is a really father moon and mother moon. They are truly the Messiah.